Tickets are still on sale for Buffalo's Cannabis Conference and Summit, the state of the cannabis industry. It'll be hosted at the Pearl Street Grill and Brewery next week on Thursday.
To talk more about this, we are joined by Brad Racino, editor and publisher of the New York Cannabis Insider. Brad, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So first, just tell us what went into bringing something like this to Buffalo, why the educational side of this is so important.
There's a lot of confusion right now in the state's cannabis industry among the people who are looking for licenses and the ancillary businesses as well, from the attorneys to the real estate agents. And what we do at Cannabis Insider is every few months we hold these big conferences around the state. This is the first time that we're going to Western New York, and we try to answer some of those outstanding questions by having some hand-selected experts talk in front of the crowd and then mingle, and we try and hit on the biggest, most important issues that are happening right now. So this particular conference is a big, heavy lift, but we're excited for it, and we think that hopefully people are going to come away from it a little more informed and educated about how to enter this industry if they're looking to do so.
Brad, you use a word like confusing, and I think many in the industry, whether it be from farmers, cultivators, all the way up to the people who are owning the stores at the dispensary level, confusion is certainly something that has been top of mind for them. The state just recently, from its Office of Cannabis Management, just released a series of facts and figures basically saying what the state of the industry is, saying that there was more than 70 million in sales through August, saying that Growers Showcase was on pace for 12.5 million in just this year alone. So the state is putting out these numbers, touting them, saying, hey, we're doing this great job. But we are hearing differently from farmers and from people at the dispensary level. What are their experiences, and how do those numbers that the state just released, how do they stack up against other states? Are they good? Are they worse?
They're not good if you look at any other states that have legalized and gone this route. However, New York has said from the get-go that they're trying to do something very different. They're putting social equity first, and that it's a lot heavier lift than anyone could imagine. It is the first time that someone has done this in a state rollout. However, the people who it's directly affecting, the people on the ground, like you mentioned, the farmers, the dispensary owners, the processors, and everybody in this industry is, I don't even know if there's a word to kind of say how bad things are for them. If anybody watched the meeting that happened earlier this morning, there were dozens and dozens of public commenters at the Cannabis Control Board meeting, some of them in tears, pleading with regulators and for the state and Governor Hochul to do something, because it's unsustainable the way things are going right now. People are losing all of their life savings. You heard stories of people saying they tapped their kids' college tuition funds. Like, people are at a loss right now of what to do next. And that's kind of it's an opportune moment to have a conference like this, where at least these folks can come together, hear from each other, commiserate, but also learn from each other and try and formulate next steps as to how to proceed in what has been a pretty disastrous rollout so far.
If I could extrapolate from what you just said, the farmer piece, because I think about that, we hear from families or individuals or whomever who basically are taking a chance. And the state has been telling them all along, since years before, come with us, we will make this great, you will make money, we'll all benefit. And we know that the first year that the state tried to roll this out, farmers were sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of crops. What are they doing now? Like you said, I mean, are they left to tears in these meetings with nothing to do, or do they see a light at the end of the tunnel?
I don't think they see a light right now. To your point, they grew last year on this hope and this promise from the state, from Governor Hochul, saying we're going to have 20 dispensaries by January 1st of 2023, and then 20 more a month after that. And come, it's now September, and there's 23 dispensaries across the state. These people are at a loss, but then they don't know whether to cut their losses or double down, which is what a lot of them have done this year, is they planted again, even though they're sitting on last year's crop. So now they're in twice as deep as they were before, just hoping that something comes along at some point and that this will all work out and make sense.
All right, Brad, before we let you go, give us all the nuts and bolts details of this conference. When, where, how can people register for tickets?
Sure. So it's next Thursday, September 21st, about 9 to 5 p.m. It'll be at the Pearl Street Grill and Brewery, and we'll have about 6 different panel discussions focused on growers, processors, the medical side of the community. We'll have some politicians there. Our Assembly Leader Crystal People-Stokes will be on a panel, a couple other panels as well. There will be networking, free consultations. All of this is for the price of the ticket. The tickets can be found at NewYorkCannabisInsider.com. We have them up there, and we also have a 50% off code for any small business owners or people looking to get into the industry.
Excellent. Brad, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Very informational, and folks can find out much more information next week as well. Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.